So in this video today, we're going to take a look at my pick of the top 5 game improvement distance hitting irons of 2018. So just before we jump into the video, as always, appreciate you watching my content. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, then do consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Ring the bell, get notifications of any future videos that are on my channel. You'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. And also hook up on my social media platforms. So I've got Twitter at MN Golf Coach, and then also Instagram and the same handle at MN Golf Coach. Okay, so again, 2018 has been a big year for many manufacturers, a lot of really good products out there. And in the iron category, what we're going to look at today in the game improvement irons, so the bigger heads, bigger sort of cavities, and also tends to be a little bit more of those distance finding golf clubs also. So we're going to take a little look at those today. I'm going to give you my top five of 2018, and this my choice has really come from a little bit of me personally through me doing reviews and testing the clubs, but also through our fittings here at the Academy, obviously through normal club golfers coming through from various different levels of golfers. So taking into account what they're purchasing and what they're getting on with, and filling them with basically the confidence really, which is either giving that super forgiveness and also that distance that maybe that particular golfer is looking for. Right, so without further ado, my number 5 of my top 5 game improvement irons of 2018 is the Titleist 718 AP1 iron. So obviously a forgiving iron from Titleist, big undercut in there, thickish top line. Titleist is a brand, as we know, are right up there in terms of product that they're releasing, the quality of it, custom fit options also. And I think the AP1 is a really nice looking iron. For a game improvement iron, I know it doesn't always fit a lot of people's eyes with a thicker top edge, a little bit more offset, what you tend to see in these game improvement irons. But as a shaping and the way that sort of sits, it's a really nice looking golf club. And again, we've had some good success through fittings with this. So I'm going to hit a few shots with each of these irons and just maybe give you a little bit of an idea of the sort of numbers. So these are all 7 irons. Yeah, it feels lovely. Very easy to launch. We're going to expect that from all these irons, to be honest, because obviously the game improvement tend to pull that weight away from the club face. A little bit easier to launch, get this ball launching high, because most golfers in this category will tend to maybe struggle to launch the ball as consistent. So these irons definitely helps on the launch and that ball nice and high. So the loft on this 7 iron with the AP1 is 30 degrees of loft. So obviously with all of these irons, they're going to be in that stronger category. Some are stronger than others. So it's a typical sort of loft we're seeing now in a more game improvement iron. That's so high. I mean, that's just going to the sort of moon and back. So that's carrying about 172. Looks to be stopping pretty quick there, to be fair. 172, and that's peaking out there. The last 2 shots, 39 and 38 yards. So it's a really high ball flight. So again, these irons are all, as I just said before, really geared about getting this ball launching. So coming in at number 5 for me is the Titleist AP1. So moving on, my number 4 pick out of my top 5 game improvement irons for 2018 is the Callaway Rogue X. Now, the Rogue has obviously been very, very popular. The X is a very strong iron. So this was really geared for those golfers out there who just purely wanted distance. Yeah, it is a very forgiving club. It's got the Cup 360 in there. You know, a lot of sort of bulkiness in around the head with a cavity, etc. But the loft is the big talking point here. So this is coming at 27 degrees of loft for a 7 iron. So it is strong. Now, obviously, we tend to see sort of trade-offs when we do go into a loft so little. We tend to see that spin just sort of drop down a little bit. So maybe taking a little bit of hit of that control when it comes into land. But maybe for that golfer who just really wants distance, then isn't too worried about what it does when it gets on the ground, then this has been a popular option. Okay, so we'll see a lot of offset on this. Big, thick top line. So it does fill you with a lot of confidence down by the golf ball. It's a loud, explosive sort of sound to it. That's gone a long way. That's gone a long way. 187 carry there. I mean, it's just obscene there. And the spin wasn't too bad. I mean, that was around 6,000 spin there, but it's just obviously coming off much higher on the ball speed because of the loft at 27 degrees. It's so strong. So effectively, you know, that's sort of like a traditional sort of 5-iron in a way. But like I say, it's doing a job for a certain golfer who wants that distance. Just slightly up that right hand side. That's just going forever. Come down, come down. I mean, it's obscene. I mean, that just goes absolutely mad. That's 189 again. So we're seeing, you know, some very, very sort of big ball speeds there. Again, because of the loft. So coming in at number 4 is the Callaway Rogue X iron. It's strong, it's powerful, but it's doing a job for that certain golfer who wants that distance. Okay, so number 3 of my top 5 game improvement irons of 2018, and this time it is the Mizuno JPX 919 hot metal iron. So we all know about Mizuno in terms of a brand for irons. They make high quality irons, and this JPX 919 range has been really, really sort of popular and excellent quality, as you would always expect. So obviously the hot metal is their most game improvement iron of the 3 models they do in the JPX range. So again, sort of medium to thickish top edge there, but a little bit of offset, but again, a lovely little shape. And that's, to me, who prefers less offset and thinner top line, that I could play with that. That looks quite nice. Yes, it's a thicker top line, but the shaping of it is really nice. The colouring of the metal, that satin sort of finish is very, very nice also. So let's get this one hit, see how the hot metal does. Again, a very high ball flight, as you'd expect. Feels good. Not quite as loud and explosive as the Rogue, and obviously nowhere near as far. That's 179 carry. Feels really nice. Lovely high ball flight. Yeah, it's got a very nice sort of feel to that. Again, it looks to be stopping fairly quick there. For again, this is 30 degrees of loft, 7-iron, so it's in that strong category as we expect. 183 carry, spinning just under 6,000 there. So not a bad spin number there for a 30-degree lofted iron. Okay, so number 3 in my top 5 of game improvement irons 2018 is the Mizuno 919 JPX in the hot metal. Okay, so jumping into the top 2 irons now. So in number 2 of my top 5 list is the Ping G700 iron. So fairly recent iron of 2018, maybe launched sort of middle towards sort of August time, I think it was, of 2018. And as soon as it came into market, we saw some great numbers in our fitting sessions. Very, very forgiving. It's a big sort of head as you sit it down and present it down by the ball. We see a lot of that. It's quite a big toe section to this, so it fills you with loads of confidence coming down. And obviously it's part of this hollow designs that we're seeing a lot of the brands bringing out now. So I think makes it that bit more forgiving, that hollow design. Creates a little bit of a thinner face, a little bit more of that sort of trampoline effect. So we've maybe seen some bigger ball speeds, but ultimately very, very sort of forgiving and a little bit higher launching. Okay, so we'll get this first one hit here. So as with the others, we're seeing quite a lot of offset, sort of medium to thick top line, or probably more on the thicker side. It does look big behind that ball. If you ever need a bit of confidence, then this G700 is definitely an iron to have a go with. Yeah, so again, it's louder. We have sort of found that with the hollow irons that aren't filled with anything and the Pings aren't, it's a little bit more higher acoustic there, so there's a bit of a sound maybe you've got to get over a little bit there. But again, that's spun pretty well there and carried out 178 on the carry number. Yeah, I've just pushed that up that right hand side, just going to miss the green there. But again, great strike, really high ball flight. Carrying in at around that, yeah, 179, so very similar to that first one, just pushed that a little bit more there. And the ball speed around 130. So it's providing some big ball speeds, very much on that higher launch. It's very confidence inspiring. This loft on this 7.9 is 29.5 degrees of loft. They do offer a power spec in there, so you can go 2 degrees stronger, and also a retro spec if you want to go a little bit weaker also. So number 2 in my top 5 list is the Ping G700 iron. Okay, so my number one top pick iron of 2018 in the game improvement category. Probably many of you may have guessed it here, but it's the TaylorMade M4 iron. So please don't start shouting at me now. I know there'll be some of you screaming at why TaylorMade. Yeah, I think TaylorMade seem to rub up people in very different ways. In the wrong way in a way, because of the shout about the technology and the launch, maybe a little bit on the quicker side. But M4, again, you can't fault them that it is a great iron. We did see some slightly lower spin numbers with M4 because obviously the loft gets strong. This is 27.5 degree loft with a 7 iron. But again, it's that golfer who wants that distance. This is giving it to him. So very much delivering maybe what that golfer wants, really. So we've seen a lot of sales with this just purely because it gets the distance, and then for the golfer who maybe isn't quite too worried on what it does when it comes into land, as in stopping maybe as quick. But what we have seen with the M4 is quite a high launch. Okay, let's get this first one here. Yeah, didn't quite get that. That was a bit toey, but it was very accurate. Okay, so there we go. I mean, that just probably proves maybe with the M4, that's 181 carry. I hit that quite toe there, so that wasn't the best of strikes. But obviously with the M4, we've got slots in the toe and the heel, speed slots. We've also got one in the sole. So I think when you move, miss it slightly toe, slightly heel, low in the face, which tends to be a big miss for a lot of golfers, then these slots are just helping to flex the face a little bit and those miss hits and keeping ball speed up. And that probably just proves it a little bit there, to be honest. You know, 181 wasn't a good hit. That's probably the worst hit of all those irons I've hit. You know, 181's very, very acceptable for that sort of hit. And probably the biggest reaction I tend to see when I put this club in the golfer's hands during a fitting session is the word that tends to come back to me is wow. As soon as I hit them first few shots, it's like wow. It feels really explosive. It's quite high launching. So yes, it's 27.5 degrees of loft, but it does launch high. So obviously some changing of CG, getting that low in the face, which is allowing us to get that launch up into that air a little bit quicker. And to be fair, it's a nice looking iron behind the golf ball. You know, yes, it's in that game improvement bracket, so we are going to see offset. We're going to see that thicker top line, but a bit more of a chrome polished heel and toe section. Very nice sort of shape into it. And I quite like those speed slots. It sort of just frames the ball a little bit when you're presenting it down behind the ball at address. Yeah, again, that was a little bit low heel, so I've really tested that forgiveness on there. Interested to see what that carries. Again, 180 carry then. Looks to be stopping. I'm pretty accurate there as well. So I've really tested the forgiveness of that iron in those two hits. So we've got ribcore technology in there. We've got obviously the speed slots in there. So yeah, so my number one choice, which is also backed up with what customers that we see through the fittings are sort of choosing also, is the TaylorMade M4 iron. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed that video. You might be screaming at me here saying, why have I not, one of my irons isn't in there? So obviously we fit for 9 different brands here at the Academy at Lytham, so we do have a big choice, and this really has been my top 5 through my choice and through what we see through the fittings also on our day-to-day basis. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts on those irons. Have you got any of those irons? Is there something that I should have put in there? Maybe what you feel I should have done anyway. Love to hear your comments as always. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, then please do so. Hit the notification bell, get future notifications of videos land on my channel. You'll be the very first ones to watch it. We'll come on social media platforms, so both Twitter and Instagram, @MNGolfCoach, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.